So hello guys, this is Patrick. Today I'm gonna talk about the ladder and the tournament. First of all, I'll just explain how the tournament works in Duelyst, and then we'll talk about ladder and the tournament format and how you play it, how to play the ladder and how you should play the tournament in my point of view. So the tournaments today, there are, I think, two main tournaments. Last year there was the Bloodborne tournament that was held by Panda Gaming, and it was like a 2 week tournament. This year I haven't seen it yet, but it was a good tournament. You could have like gold and the title, but it was more like gold and for fun. And there is the King of Beta, which had like the two editions this year, and it happens every 2 weeks. It's supported by Acrotar and I think Garou Gaming. So you can always find both tournaments or more tournaments on the forums. And the Duelyst or Reddit site, you can always check there, and you'll always be able to find the tournaments. And the Duelyst tournaments are always in the same format. Like you in the ladder you play with a deck, and in the tournament you choose a faction, a class, one of the six, and you have to play it for all the tournament with the same class. Don't need to be the same deck. So you can make like 5 decks, you can make a new deck between the games, and you play like a best of 5, best of 3, depending on the tournament with your opponent, and you can change your deck, you can add some cards, take off some cards, build a completely new deck between the matches. So that's basically it. You get a deck, you get a faction, you have to use everything you can to beat the opponent's faction. So maybe you need like a class that can give you options against all the other classes. That's basically how it's done. So you play a best of 3, a best of 5, and you need to play the class all along the tournament, the faction all along the tournament. I will come back to playing tournament later, just to explain how the format is, to people know about it. So first of all, I'm gonna talk about ladder. So how do you play ladder? Like many people might want to get to the S rank. I am S rank the last 3 months. I can show you just to. So I already got my rank this month. So what you have to do? Like you have basically two simple strategies in the ladder, in the ranked place, right? So first of all, you can simply build a deck that you find consistent with a consistent strategy, and go for it. Like you can have a mech deck, which the strategy is to overflow the board and build the mech and win the game, since the opponent won't be able to control both the mechs and the Mechazor, so you just win the game because he won't be able to control everything and you rush him. You can like do a Lionar deck with a strategy that your creatures have very good resistance, so it has very good value, so you get good trades and you keep beating your opponent and like won the board, and in the long run you win the game. That's a good strategy too. And or you can make like a Songhai, a Ambition Burn deck, like I have an Ambition Burn here. Like a deck that you just rush your opponent and you win the run. Your main objectives like to win the game before he kills you. You kill him before he kills you. So just raise him, raise the life, and play for tempo and play for damage. So that are few simple strategies that you can play on the ladder. So one of the things when you play on the ladder, that you have a deck. So you're gonna play a deck and try to get a streak, try to get a good win rate, so you can up to the ladder to get to the S rank. So first of all, that's one of the ways that you can play. Like build a strategy and go for it, right? Another way you can play the ladder, but it would not be very efficient like on the low ladder, like on the you might need a high rank to do that. Is like to analyze the metagame. Metagame is like to know what decks are playing, like what people are playing in the moment, and when I search for a game, if I find a Vitruvian, I know there are like 2 or 3 possibilities of deck that this guy would be using, or like, but the tier 1 option is this deck. I know his deck, and I know how to play against him. So like to know the meta game is very important, regardless of the strategy you choose. But you can try to counter the meta game. Like you don't build a strategy because you think like it's a good strategy. Build a strategy that can counter the most tier 1 decks on the meta. That's another way to play the ladder, to be a counter meta strategy. So you think there are some high, which is pretty much aggressive deck, you think there is a Bishop Burn, so you just make a heal deck. So you're probably gonna a heal and provoke Lionel deck. You're probably gonna win the match you want to win. But I don't know if it's today. The decks are so similar that you can like counter them all. Like in December, before the nerf of Magmar, I think Magmar Control was the deck that could beat everything. So it was like this. It was a good deck with a good strategy, but also a counter meta deck because you have heal against on high, you have bigger minions, you have like a flash incarnation to play minions fast, and you had plasma storm or metamorphosis for body cleaning to decks that put a large number of minions in play. So, but with the nerf, Magmar Control is just a bit out of the meta today. So I don't think there is a deck that can counter everything now. Like most of the decks, I think Vitruvian has come back to tier 1 with the Blast, and Songhai is still great. There are Lionar with the Keeper. There are a lot of decks that are very strong in the meta, so the counter meta strategy today in this month, I don't know if you can try to do it, but you don't need to be like full counter meta strategy like a Magmar who could deal with everything and then win the game with a big minion, and that's it. You can try to do kind of both, like you can think of a strategy which is good and try to do like touch cards that applies to the meta, like Lionar. Like I said, Lionar have ride resistance minions, so you probably win the board in the long run, like with Keeper and with Showkeeper. To people who don't know it, he just for 5 and you play a minion that was destroyed. So like Lionar have many minions that have good resistance, and if you bring one back to life, you probably win the game by value. And like if you're playing for value, you probably wins most of the matches. But since there are aggro decks that don't care about value but care about killing you on tempo, you can add some heals. You can add like Divine Bound. I will show him Divine Bound, because if he ignores your minions, you can just like one turn kill him and punish him for not dealing with your board. So you just you put some touch cards that like you can win or by a combo or by value or by healing. So it just applies the counter meta strategy to your first strategy that was like building a deck with good minions. The same applies to like burn, and I don't have Songhai because I don't have the cards, but like there are many possibilities of Songhai decks. You can do like the artifacts and play the Marker of Shadows and Cyclone Mask, so you can gain ranged. So you just kill minions for free, and if the guy don't put minions, you hit him in the face. That's one of the decks that are playing. You can just go for straight damage with Tuskboar, Gorehorn, Killing Edge. So there are many ways Lantern Fox for combo. So there are many ways you can build your deck to fill up your strategy. So like Songhai, you can go for a more value deck like Mask of Shadows and Cyclone Mask, but still being aggressive. And you choose to go like full aggressive or a more value build of aggressive deck, like to kill his minion, then kill him when you have everything you can to rush him, then you rush him. You don't need to draw perfectly. You can like stall the game and then go in a fast run and kill him like in 2-3 turns. You can do that too. So like to know which to play, you have to have the counter meta strategy a bit. Like you build your deck that your point to being aggressive, it's too rushing, but to know if you play Mask, Cyclone Mask, Tuskboar, into all the cards that you wanna play, to choose to play Lantern Fox or no, or to go for a spell deck, you have to know what people are playing in the moment and try to counter it and know the tier deck. So that's how you play ladder. You have to build a good strategy and a strategy that fits in the meta. And you can copy people's deck too, it's fine, but even if you copy people's deck, you need to learn to play it. You need to play how to play against like some other classes, like last month, like Vitruvian. You need to play before the nerf. You would need to place your minions in a way that he didn't have value with Star Furries, because Star. Let me show you Star Furry. Star's Furry, it's a card that was a very good card, like could destroy and punish you for expanding the board in a way that like if you play around Blast, you will give value to Star Furries. So last month I was like playing around Star Furries and not playing around Blast because there wasn't a way, unless artifact that he pushes a minions or the artifact on the general and hits me for blast for surprise. Now with the new third wish, he can just like put the rush minion, the tiger, and the third wish and just hit for 6 for a bash. So like this is a pretty good combo, and you need to know he has it, and you need to play around it if you're playing against Vitruvian. So you need to know what you're facing. Basically, that's it. You need to build a good strategy, but knowing what you're facing. I think that's the way we play the meta now. We play the ladder now because I don't think there is a deck today that counters everything. Like there are decks that are good, like Vitruvian. Vitruvian is very good. Like if you put, I don't have the third wish, but I believe if you put like the provoke, the cosmic flash, which is on the screen, and like some heal stuff, some heal minions, you can deal with Fragro, you can deal with Lion, or you can deal with almost everything. So it just like you have a strategy which is streamed by value, by blast, and at the same time you are worried about what people are playing. So that middle way today, I think it's the best way to play the ladder. You can just have to counter everything, so you just build your strategy and try to put some tech cards that applies and counter everything. Like you can put, if you are worried and people are playing max, you can just put across bones, put one or two. I mean, don't need three, because till he build the max and you know he will be max, like you can draw him. So you have time to draw this guy. So you don't need to feel like 3 on your deck and lose all the matches because you draw him. So just put 1 or 2, and if he comes, you win a match against Mechazor because you have crossbones. That's basically it. The ladder is a simple way to play. So now I'm gonna talk about the tournament format. So the tournaments, how you play tournament, like I was saying, you play a best of 3, you play a best of 5 with a faction. You choose a faction and you go all the way in the tournament with that faction. So you need to have versatility, you need to play against all other classes and all other possibilities, like if Songhai can play the artifacts, Songhai can play a full aggro deck, and I saw on a King of Bat like a Master Troll deck, which was basically the based on the, I don't have the card here. Let me just find it. Oh, the Ancestral Divination. It was just a deck with a lot of cost minions static cost 1, so he would just play Ancestral Divination, play all his minions, and just keep drawing and overflowing the board. So that was his strategy, and like he was playing against Songhai, and Songhai there aren't many ways that to control the board. Like you have Ghost Lightning, but you can deal with many minions at the same time with Songhai. So it was a troll strategy, but a good one, and he almost won the match with that. Like was in the 9 version of King of Battle. It was the grand finals, and I don't remember the play, but like it was a strategy he planned on the time and it worked. So my point is, it's just like you need to not think about like a deck. You need to think about your faction, your class potential. So like Songhai, you have the spells, you have the artifacts, and you have the backstab thing. So you probably will be an aggressive deck all the way, but you can like change a bit, like try have a more value, like the artifacts you can just full aggro. You can decide how to play, like a Bishan, you can have the burn, you can have the mid range, you can have the control deck. And like just give an example, if I know I'm a Bishan and I know I'm facing like a Songhai deck. Like he knows I'm a Bishan, he knows I play a lot of Raffling. He must just put Ghost Lightning in his deck because he know I probably have many 1/1 minions, 1/1 Rafflings. But if I play Burn, I must like just rush him. Even I have like the 3/1, like this will I just hit him. So even if he kill like Flame Bud Warlock and the Lore Master, like I don't know if it's worth for Songhai to put a Ghost Lightning. So you just have to do like some mind games, like oh, he knows I'm playing Ambition, he might put a Ghost Lightning, so I just go with the burn deck first if he touches, or just no, I think he won't touch at the first match, so I just go with the mid range, which I have the lot of Rafflings, I have the Raffling Swarms, I have the Blood Moon Priestess, and just go with the mid range and pray that he didn't touch, or just that this card didn't come in his hand. So you can just try, and like in the second game I think no, he will put a Ghost Lightning for sure because he's playing Ambition, so I changed my deck to Burn, which like it's good in the match, and you like this card won't deal much, Ghost Lightning won't deal much against a Burn deck, so you just need to change between your decks, and that one of the things you have to have in mind, like to try to predict which deck your opponent's gonna use, or you must know the possibilities, like for playing against Magmar, for instance. Magmar, there is the control, there is the aggro Twin Fangs, just show here on the screen. Twin Fangs, I don't have it, so just put like, is this the artifact? So there's the aggro Twin Fang Vindicator deck, which just to kill you fast. There's the control deck. There is the combo deck, which the Elucidator, Flash Reincarnation, and the Fractal Replication. Flash Reincarnation is right here, so just make him cost less. You put him with Hush and you just copy him, so and you can amplificate too. So you amplificate him and then copy, so you can do like 24 damage in a turn because with 4 cards. So it's basically a combo deck. You just start the game and combo at the end. There's another version. There is the control. There is the Mac deck that you can put against all classes. So just need to know like if I'm facing a Sun High, I know that I probably gonna need heal regardless of what deck he'll be playing. Like Vitruvian, I will need spell because I will need spell against Vitruvian because most of the deck will use third wishes. So like Vanor, I will have things that control the board because he will need to spawn many minions. So just put some touches that. So you need to touch not against a deck but against a faction, a class, and you need to know what probably are the decks that he are playing like. Because even if he changes, like I can do a Mech Lioner, like let's pick Lioner. I can do a Mech Lioner deck, but even if I do a Mech Lioner, I'm gonna put Martyrdom. I might put some Boom or some Drop Alex because these are cards that Tempest maybe not in a Mech I don't know because it can kill your own minions, but like you put Silver Guard Knight because there are cards that you probably go in like most of the deck of that faction because these cards they're not overpowered but they are like above the value, like they are just much better than the neutral cards. So every class has class cards that are better than the neutral. So people play for it, and you know, like this guy is probably in almost every Lioner deck. So you just need to play around him. Like Archgale, if people have Holy Immolation too. So you just need to have the versatility to deal with everything that the class can offer. In the some like some matches, like if I am a Bish and I play a Bish, I will try to play a Bish. Last tournament I played Magmar, but after the half now I'm gonna play a Bish. So if we have a Bish against a Vitruvian, I'll just like try to go with Burn because it's a faster deck and to kill him because I just can win him by the value and Blast will just destroy my Rafflings and my minions and the Starfurs too, so just there aren't much I can do if he puts Starfurs and Blast in all his decks, so just there are not much I can do. So in the tournament you just have to play a best of 5 and just try to predict what your opponents are using by knowing his faction, by knowing his class, and you need to try to get all the potential your class can offer. And sometimes a surprising deck like just a deck that are not in the tier, like in tier 1, and you just made it just to counter that class, maybe it can be good, right? So you can just go like I have this mid-range heal deck because if I'm playing like so high or just an aggro deck, I just put the mid-range heal because just a mid-range with the heal minions, so just a little of a touch in the deck to try to counter some matches. So it's basically it. You need to know what your opponent can play, what he's playing, and if you just try to surprise him, it might be good. Like in the 9 version of the King of Tournament, I got the top 8, I got the first place in the Swiss format, and I didn't have a a really good strategy. I just played like the control Magmar. I just opened with the control, and depending on the match, if I won or not, I just changed to Mac Magmar, so the opponent didn't knew what I was doing. He just like I was hoping him to attach to control and expect control, and then I changed to Mac, and probably sometimes I just won with Mac, or no, sometimes I just change it to try to surprise him. And in the third game, sometimes the third game was like most of the time I just came back to control. I would just like alternating between control and Mac, because if I attach for control, I would play Mac in the next turn, and if attach for Mac, I would come back with control. And the third match, like since I just have two Magmar decks, I in the third match I was like, or I was repeating or I was changing again, and it was basically like a mind game. But I just the third match, if I didn't won by 2-0, was like 1-1 in a best of three. I was just playing like the deck I think was the best against what I saw, what are the opponent's decks. So it was like a liner, and I just thought, no, I can deal with Magma with control, or like, no, he will win by value because Keeper just too strong. I can deal with Keeper. I don't have my three keepers because I didn't have in that moment, so I just no, I'm just trying to hurt him with Mac, and then I was just going for Mac. Was like my thought, like alternate picking decks, and I got in the Swiss format. I got 5-0, and in the top 8 I faced the last opponents of the Swiss format, so he knew what I was doing, and like I couldn't surprise him, and I didn't have like a Twin Fang, a combo deck, another. I don't have all the cards of Magmar, so I just didn't have the versatility to build like a consistent aggro deck to surprise him, so I just tried the same strategy and I lost because he knew most what I was doing. So I think that's it. That was I think about tournaments. You just need to try to surprise him, try to make all the decks you can of your class to don't know what the guy are playing. You just can like pick one deck and try to do the best of five, the best three with just one deck. You need to have options just to confuse your opponent, just to be prepared for what your opponent has to offer. So you just need to think like that's why I think some classes, I think some high is kind of limited, but it's top tier in tournaments, I think. Because it's always will be aggro, but regardless of the aggro, there are so many cards that are very powerful. And like I said, if you combo the artifacts, you can deal with value. So even if you're always aggro, you still have the versatility enough to play tournaments. Vanar, I don't know about the Vanar right now, but I think you can build a kind of more control intended deck with Hearthstone and Dispel now. Like Cryogenesis, you can do like a control deck, you can do a Mac deck, you can do a mid-range deck, a Vesper value deck. I think there are many possibilities with Vanar right now, so Ambition I think it's not top tier in the ladder. The deck aren't very strong, but Burn deck is. But I will try to play in the tournaments like Lionar. Lionar, like before Keeper. Uh, Lionar need to lose like the in the turn 5. You just need to play a big minion like Iron Cliff Guardian or another cost 5 minion, and if the opponent has like an Agamorph and Natural Selection and Hail Prison Storm for Vanar, which Like you probably lose the game because of time, because you put like a big minion and he's now controlling your big minion and expanding the board. So the keeper of the value, the keeper of the valley, which puts like two minions, it's like much harder to control. So Lionel really came back with the keeper. So I think it's Magmar still have a good combination of decks, but control isn't as strong because of Plasma Storm nerf and the mana burn change. So still a good deck. I think you can play with every class. You just need to like Vitruvian. I don't talk about Vitruvian. They have the spell, have the Cosmic Flash. You can build like a structured deck just to surprise your opponent and then come back with a mech deck or and then the full blast stomp thing with Sandholder and the third wish combo. So you can try to go on like blast and a hex blade value deck. It's another possibility if you have all the cards. So there are lots of ways to build your decks and just try to explore it like at maximum. Just try to get all the possibilities and just train with it. Like, I don't know, add someone and just start training, start seeing how the deck works, and if it's a good deck and people don't know to play against it, you probably won a match in a best of 3 and a best of 5. Like one single game can make all the difference. So like to confuse your opponent, it's really a mind game you must that you need to play the tournaments. Just like not like I'm gonna put a strategy and a counter strategy thing like in the latter meta, because if he tries to surprise you just lose because you don't know how to counter him. So you must think about your strategy and try to predict what he'll be playing, but at the same time, like if it's a bad match, you think it's a bad match, and just try to make a surprise. Try to make a deck out of nowhere, and you can just win like that. Just have a plan B, right? Because if you think you have a unfavorite match against another faction, just try to surprise. Maybe that will win you the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You need to play the faction, not the deck. That's the first change of view you need to know about the tournament. If you have any doubts, if you have anything you wanna talk to me, you can add me on the game. Just put my nick right here. Just feel free to add, to comment. I try to. If anything on this video was not clear, I don't know about my English. I'm sorry if my English is not very good. I'm from Brazil, but just trying to put my opinion and just I don't know, that's just my view of tournaments of what you can play. I played like 2 tournaments of Duelyst. Once was a top 8, so it was a pretty good result. So and I didn't have like all the cards in my collection, so I think like if I have the Twin Fangs deck, the combo deck, I had more chances of surprising, of changing deck, and must think about it. Like, but in the other hand, I don't know. I just won't say like craft everything for just one faction. Just craft what you like to play in the game. If you wanna play all factions, craft a deck for all factions. And maybe in the future, maybe the tournament format will change. Maybe like in other games, you just pick classes. You don't pick just one classes. I don't know if Duelist will continue in this format. So, but for now, that's what you need to think. So feel free to send your feedback. Feel free to tell any doubts you have, anything that wasn't clear. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'm here. So just in the next video, I try to play like a game and just to show it how I do. Like I just pick a friend on the friend list and try to play a game like to simulate BO5 in the tournament. So just to try to show it how is it in the how I do it while I'm playing, like the mind games, the touch things, the everything you need to do in the tournaments. I just try to make that video and post on the channel. So feel free to add any comments. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and that's pretty much it. Hope we'll see you on the ladder on the tournaments, and